we go. All right, everybody, welcome to my curmudgeon-y kind of Halloween show thing. I am very blessed today because I have the delightful Sarah Voight on my show. She was the mommy on Terrifier 2. She dazzled a lot of you in theaters in October. And also, I think, what are you? There's some new Netflix show, I think, that just came out. We Have Ghosts. We Have a Ghost.
Oh, yes, it is correct, but I am on the cutting room floor, so we'll we'll keep going.
Oh, no.
It's okay.
That's some murder. I guess you got murdered twice.
I got murdered. I think I'm gonna be murdered a lot this year, but that's okay. The nature of the beast.
It is. And a beast it is. So
Yes,
anyway,
it is.
gosh, I think my brain just completely detached right there.
That's okay. Sorry to crush your dreams.
You did a little bit, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm glad I didn't rush to watch because I heard you were going to be in it, and I thought, oh, I'm going to watch the show, but I'm like,
Oh,
I had a bunch of work, and I'm like, well, I didn't quite get to that.
okay. Well, you
Um,
can
so
still watch it.
yeah, I guess. So let's see here. I'm not going to get into the whole how did you get into the Terrifier thing because I think you've already talked about in a lot of interviews. But I think did you start out as a commercial thing? I think you did commercials, I think, first.
Yes. I did print and commercials for a bajillion years. And long story short, the pandemic happened, the world ended. Um, I moved out of New York. I moved back home to New Orleans. And it was sort of from there that I started working.
Do you still live in New Orleans?
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you right now, New Orleans is very traumatizing. I got really drunk once, and I was like on a tour, and I played some crazy place, and I just remember I was really drunk, and I had a lot of cash on me, and I was wandering around New Orleans at like
Oh,
10 p.m. at night. It was one of the most terrifying things in my life because I was drunk out of my mind, and I had like all the band's tour money on my body. Which, if somebody would have robbed me, it would have been like I would have been like
yeah.
I would have been like a money pinata. So it would have been really bad. Yeah.
A
So
human ATM.
yeah,
Well, I'm happy
exactly.
that didn't happen.
Yeah. So I would like to go to New Orleans again someday because, like I said, I just remember being really drunk and being scared out of my mind. So
Happens. It happens. No
yeah,
shame.
no, there is no
Where'd
shame.
you play? Do you remember where you played?
Um, I don't know. It was like in 2010. All that I remember from it is I was drunk and I wandered around, and I think we were like, what? There was like the season finale of Lost playing
Oh, okay.
in some weird place, and people were doing a bunch of oysters, and that was
Yeah.
about it. And I just remember it was just really ungodly hot. I live in Oregon, so it doesn't get really hot here, but it was,
Yeah. It's
yeah.
good heat.
No, I
Good.
hated it. Are you a heat person?
I love heat. If it goes below like 95, I'm freezing.
Oh, you would hate
Like,
it. It's like I'm cool with like 30s and 40s. That's like my jam. So
whoo, yeah.
yeah.
You can. We'll leave it over there in Oregon.
Exactly. That's why we're on like the opposite sides of
Yeah.
fucking America. So okay, but let's go back here. So
Okay.
what's funny, because I watched, I did try to do a little bit of homework and watch some of your interviews and stuff like that.
Oh
I
gosh.
recently, I know, like
Oh
not
God.
to,
There's some gems out there.
yeah, yeah. I think I watched the one where you were drinking a lot of vodka. That's what I remembered from it. You just,
The 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 tequila and Tamiflu.
I'm not sure. You just kept drinking a lot. You were one of your old friends, and you were just drinking.
Oh, you watched the one with Mike.
I
Oh
did.
Lord.
I tried to watch all of them.
Yeah.
I even tried watching that evil movie, I think. Whatever that
Oh,
was.
I've never seen that. Did you see it?
I tried scrolling through it. I mean, all
That
that
was
I could
like,
gather from the movie is there was like an old man that looked like a drunken Joe Biden with a sailor hat on. That's all that I got from it. And then I think I got to see some
wait,
of you. It was on YouTube or something.
that's great. Can I
Yeah,
tell you who's in that? I don't know if you'll
I don't
be as
know.
excited about it. Katrina Lenk, who's like a huge Broadway star, and she won the Tony, and she's like amazing. Anyway,
Oh wait, you
it's
know
a
what? Actually, there was
dark
some
hair,
lady that was in
super hot.
Ozark. Is what it
Yes,
was.
she's an Ozark.
Yes.
That's her.
Yes. I remember that was like the thing. So she was also in it, but I was really more focused on the old drunken man with the sailor hat. That's what I just took away from the film.
That's
So
great. I don't even remember that. That's awesome.
I know. So that's a terrible tidbit that I came up with. So
I like it.
but anyway, back to what I was gonna get at. There was a Brandon Cronenberg movie that came out, I think, recently, and oh my god, I can't even remember what it's called. Wow, my brain is just terrible today. I gotta have some of this stuff in a moment here. But there was commercial talk about like I think like a fail actor, like those commercials where they're fumbling things, like they're like, "Here's a bucket of popcorn, I'm gonna eat it," and it just flies all over the place. Like
Right.
you've never done any weird commercials like that where they're over
Oh yeah.
exaggerated.
I find every commercial to be over exaggerated.
Uh,
It's like, so you're trying to fit like 70 years of emotion into probably 15 to 30 seconds. And so, yeah, it's like everything is hot and fast and intense, and you get in and you get out, and then that's it.
well, I was gonna
You
ask you
don't,
what was one of the worst commercials you did? You're like it goes down in history as like the commercial that just makes you just hate everything. I want to know that.
um,
There's got to be
there's
one.
a, oh, there's a few. There's a few. I'm really good about things. I'm a dumper. Like if something traumatizes me, I completely forget about it.
Oh no. And this is not good because I'm just going to be resurfacing your trauma, your commercial.
I'm gonna start crying.
Trauma.
There's been a few. I mean, there's some I've just come home because the thing about commercials is like when you're on a film or TV set, there's a lot of people to please, but I feel like it's a little different because you have time to sort of do things and develop and you're getting feedback. Commercials, there's about 40 chefs all sitting there at the same counter and everyone is this at once. And yeah, that's your face. It's like, so it's a really intense, you know, situation. And so there's been a lot of times where I literally have just been there and I'm just like counting the minutes until I know we're done. Like it's just been awful. Like awful.
Well, you went from the commercial thing to the, being in probably one of the biggest horror movies in
Yeah.
2022. I mean, that uh,
Wild.
it was, like I mean, for the longest time, like when it was getting crowdfunded and people just talking about Terrifier 2, and then it's finally happening, but then everyone's like, oh well, you can't really see it because it's just going to be streaming somewhere, and then it's going to be in theaters for 2 or 3 days, and then it turned into this whole story where all right, they're going to extend it a week, and then they're going to extend it another week, and then like for me, it was really exciting because I had to, October is a really busy month for me because of Halloween and stuff like that. So I made the time to finally go see it, and I was like, oh, this is really great. A lot of people were like super excited about it. So while it was getting a lot of good hype, it was just a
Mhm.
really awesome feeling to be in a theater with a bunch of people that were just like really excited to see this thing that was just getting hyped up so much. Like, I mean, Halloween Ends was like an old man's quiver fart. That's what it was. Like people were just bashing on it, like it was a dead mule in an alley, and just people just kept going, "Oh,
Yeah.
it's this Michael Myers wannabe," and then Michael Myers is living in a sewer. He's an
It
old man
wasn't
down
that
by the
good.
river. They just kept bashing on it. But then when it came to Terrifier 2, it was just pummeling the hell out of that thing. So it was really exciting. So, but when I saw it, and then when you burst on the screen, I was like, holy crap, that is one intense mom. I was like, who is she? She is like Anna Paquin with the mom from Malcolm in the Middle, like shoved inside the body. I'm sorry, that's just
Somebody
what
else
I thought.
said that to
Huh?
me. Somebody else has referenced Malcolm in the Middle mom.
Because like you were just so intense, and then just like this right here, you're in the kitchen and you're like that. I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing.
That literally was so spontaneous. And
So who thought of that? Because I'm gonna tell you, that set the tone, like the slap.
I did it organically. And then I remember hitting Lauren and be like, oh shit, I'm so sorry. And
Well, it
Tammy's like,
was
that's brilliant. Do it again. Keep it going.
no, it definitely set a tone, but it just like the whole movie, you were just like, it was great because it just there was never like any dullness. Because I think what was it here? Because you just set up this intense mom
Yeah.
when you had the car scene and the phone conversation with Sienna or whatever it was. when you like finally just you could see your body just kind of go, like you lowered it.
Oh,
There was just so much that you really brought to that film. So I mean, I think that's why I was
thank
really happy to
you.
do this interview, because I mean, there's so many characters you could talk to from Terrifier 2, but I mean, you were definitely one of the important like aspects of that film.
Thank you. That's
Yeah.
so nice. Thank you.
I'm not even trying to be nice. I'm just stating facts. So
I love that.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I didn't really. So I had gone in and with my idea of Barb, because we didn't really have a table read or anything. Did you
Sorry,
just
I just
open it?
I just tried to open this and it like farted back at me, and I was just like, oh boy.
What are you drinking actually?
I don't
Is that
know,
a
some
beer?
Stumptown cold brew, because I'm gonna get coffee later,
Oh,
but I need some caffeine.
I love cold brew. Um, as you can tell, as I'm
I
representing,
know it's
um, yum. Oh, that's good.
it is.
That's nice.
Smells good.
Um, yeah, so you go in and I had this idea of like, this woman is compassionate and she's humane and she's all these things. And David was like, no. And every time he like had to pull it out of me, she'd like, be meaner, be more aggressive, like this. And I was like, are you really? And he was like, yes. And so that's
um,
where we went. And
you didn't like ever meet Damien's mom or anything, right?
no, I don't
Okay.
even think I've actually met her. I've come across her at like the premiere and other parties, but like, no.
So I'm curious, what was the inspiration you channeled to accomplish the mom, since you didn't meet her? Because I think he said that he was kind of trying to base the mom on his mom or something like that kind of.
So the mom is his mom, and his mom hated me. She was like, that woman's awful. That's the worst role in the world. Um, this is Barb is my mom. Barb is my mother.
Wow.
And I told my mom that, and I was like, I said, please don't ever watch any of these interviews. I was like, but if, just so you know, I was like, it's you. And she's like, yeah, I can see it.
Well, like I
And
said, you
it's,
def. Hmm? Oh, you go.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I mean, you definitely nailed the mom role like hardcore.
Thanks.
In fact, I mean, from what I understand, I think it was supposed to go to someone else, and then you just kind of glided into it. I don't know who was originally supposed to do it, but I'm glad that didn't happen, because I don't think anyone could have pulled it off
I
better.
mean, I don't think it's urban myth or legend. I think because I was cast as Allie's mom.
Yeah.
So then Damien called, and I still had not met Damien. I was like, hey, can you read for this character? And I remember him saying somebody we had wanted or whatever, whatever. And I was like, sure. And then the first person to reach out was Lauren. So
But it was like a
yeah,
mom swap.
it was like a mom swap, which is so wild too, because I look at Casey and I'm like, we look so much alike. But I also like, you could see, how Lauren and Elliot and I might have all, really worked. So
Yeah, but that other mom was like not in there very much, whereas you were in there a lot. So it just worked better, I thought.
yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah. So here's another really fun question. So in the garage scene, right?
Mhm.
Um, did you actually like get to be there when it happened, or like what like did you see the splatter, or like what happened with that? Because that was pretty messed up.
When my head hits the wall,
Like when it blows.
no, no. Somebody
No?
took me out back. I can't remember who it was. I mean, honestly, I think I wrapped that day at like 5:30 a.m.
Okay.
And then they took Barb out back and shot her.
Because I'm
And
like, that'd be
then,
kind of just awkward to walk into it and be like, oh, look, there's my piece of my brain over there, and the
yeah,
eyeball.
no, I was on the road back home when all that
Okay.
was going on.
Well, then you
Um,
went there. Yeah.
but it was weird. I mean, that was the first time I met Dave.
Wow. So it was just like,
Like we went to McDonald's, the irony, and we come back and I'm like, oh, so now we do
he
this.
didn't
And
go to
he's like,
McDonald's in the art outfit, right?
no, but and
'Cause that would
I
probably mess up some kids pretty good.
we totally should have. It would have been so
That would have been a really good promotional thing for Terrifier. I'm sure some kid would have freaked out and been like,
good.
why is this clown at McDonald's? I am not eating my McNuggets anymore.
Do you remember how McDonald's used to have play pens?
I
Like
did.
when
I,
you
I
were
used to
growing up?
go on those until I was too big to go on them.
They were
It was a
amazing.
disease factor, I'm sure. All those balls were probably covered in every little disease you could think of.
Yeah, that's why nobody got sick back then. We
I know,
were
because we
all
were all like healthy because we all got sick from touching diseased McDonald's balls.
exactly. Terrifier should have its own like art the
It should. I
company.
mean, like Scream, if Terrifier does another round, they should totally do like a ball pit thing, you know?
That would
You
be
don't need a
great.
booster shot. Look, if there's another disease coming up like COVID or whatever, you don't need a booster shot. You just have to go in the
Oh,
Terrifier ball pit.
yes.
You'll be
All the cooties are in there. All the cooties.
exactly. You're gonna get exposed to everything. Speaking of
I
really
love
bad
it.
cooties,
Yes.
I want to tell you, like in Terrifier 2, that clown girl scene with the have you watched the whole thing?
The movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you remember that whole scene with the
The
stuff
pale
came
girl?
out? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awful. That was like a Guar concert came out of her. It was bad. Well, I'm serious. Have you ever seen a Guar concert? They spray so many fluids all over the place. When I saw that, I was like, why? Like, this was a really decent, it was going great. And then she looks at him and is like, and then just on the ground, I'm like, why? That's like all the fluid in your body just came out.
I like how that bothers you, but the final scene of Art the Clown's head was like, oh, whatever.
Well, I mean, I've seen so many movies where heads get bashed and I'm like, all right, whatever. But like, mystery body fluid
Just
it's
clown juice. It's
well,
clown juice.
it probably smells bad. It probably smells like
Yes.
60-year-old McDonald's.
Yes. Yeah, it does. It smells like the ball pit from 81.
That's got to be
That's
awful.
that's a good ball pit.
All right, I think I feel pretty good about this interview because I don't think anyone's talked about a disease ball pit. So I've got that at least.
And you have me sober. This is my normal state.
Oh, maybe you need some alcohol. I don't know.
No.
Speaking of, I was also going to ask you, like, what's your go-to drink?
I love tequila.
Tequila.
Tequila. And wine, like Barb. I'm a
Yeah,
total
you drank a
wino.
lot of wine in Terrifier. That's
Yeah, I drink a lot of wine in real life. Love it.
That's good. You should go on like a wine tour maybe or something like that, like a weird
Oh, I have.
Terrifier wine tour, and just start tasting it.
There you go.
The ghost
marketing.
the ghost of Barb is coming to drink wine. It's gonna stay in my
Okay.
body even though I'm a ghost, but it's okay.
Where's the Barb bottle? Like, why
Yeah,
doesn't
there
Barb
should
have
be a
her own?
Barb. Everybody has. I mean, Snoop Dogg even has wine. Fucking Martha Stewart has wine. I mean, why can't you have a wine?
That's a very good point.
Mhm.
That's a very good point.
And people
I'm
would
gonna
buy
have to
it.
get on it.
You put Terrifier on the bottle, they'll buy it. They'll be like, I don't care what it tastes like. I'll buy it.
No, it'll be good. It'll be good. Promise.
Speaking of marketing, are you gonna do like conventions or anything like that or anything?
I did my first convention a couple weeks ago.
How did that whole experience go?
Really cool.
Yeah.
It was really nice. Everyone was so friendly and welcoming, and it was really cool to meet people and hear their comments and the feedback. And
What was the worst comment you got? You had to have gotten something bad.
I got I got some random ones that were like, "You look much better in person." Like, I got a lot of that, and I got a lot of like, "Are you really like that?" No, it was just like weird things like that, and I was like, "No."
So nobody said, when I saw Terrifier, I went to bed and covered my body in mashed potatoes.
Oh, there was only one box of mashed potatoes. No, but did you do
Only
that?
one to get signed?
Yeah. Props to Carl. Shout out to Carl. Yeah, he was the only one.
You would think that everyone would be bringing you boxes of mashed potatoes to sign them. That was like the big.
I mean, you would think.
Wow, that's another thing you could also market. I mean, they have the Art Krispies or whatever box. I mean, might as well have a mashed potato Terrifier box too.
I know the fact that like Orida has not reached out is kind of like devastating and rude.
It is. It is. Any other fun things you want to talk about from Terrifier, like any weird memories or maybe an accident or anything terrible or anybody like break an arm or fall?
I mean, I mean, I think Lauren got her ass kicked like 90% of the time. Um, Lots of shits and giggles. Like there was
I
just
want to
so
know
much.
about the shits and giggles. I mean, you have, David Howard Thornton on there. I'm sure there had to be a lot of shits and giggles
I
before
didn't
that.
shoot with him.
He didn't pop out of
Only
a cabinet somewhere or anything like that, like a mystery.
no, like only one day. That one day. I mean, so it was all Lauren, all Elliot, and then the Levy brothers and the crew and Damien and Phil.
What was the
Like
prank that happened? I guess, or the giggles. I don't know.
it wouldn't be a prank. There would just be like we'd be in the middle of a scene because we would shoot until god awful hours of the morning, and we would just start laughing, and then no one could stop for like solid 45 minutes, like tears, church giggles, like the good laughter. Um, and there were times where I'm literally so there's a scene. It's me, Lauren, and Elliot, and I'm holding up. I'm not even lying to you, a DVD cassette, and I'm saying my lines to Elliot because I can't even make eye contact with Lauren anymore because I can't keep a straight face. Like there's just moments like that where you guys are seeing the scene, but literally like we're not even looking at each other because we can't keep it together anymore. It was just like silliness like that.
I see. I see. Uh what was I gonna say here? The fire scene was definitely was that one of the first times you used a fire extinguisher? I've actually never used a fire extinguisher in my life. So I was like
I
really
think it was the second.
second.
Yeah. And I
What was the
remember they were
first
like,
time you had to use a fire extinguisher for?
oh.
Oh, come on, that looks like that's a story. You pause and that's
We'll
gotta be a
leave that in
story.
the ball pit. We'll leave that in 1981 ball pit.
In 1981, you caused a fire. You had to be a baby back then.
No, I'm trying to think. Yeah, there was a need for one in college. Wasn't my fault, but So on my second time using a fire extinguisher, and I got to tell you, I think I only had to do it once, and I got it.
Okay, because you look pretty pro in the movie when you did the fire extinguishers. That's why I
Well,
was
they
curious.
freaked me out because they were like, if you ruin the camera, the movie's fucked. So here I
Speaking of
am, and I'm like,
yeah, speaking of, didn't from what I understand, didn't like you guys have to build a house all over again because the bottom of the house was haunted in the furnace or something, or what was that about?
there was a sub pump or some sort of torture chamber at the bottom of this house. And it would start going off at like 10:17 every night. And it was on the cycle. And so it got to the point where it's like 1, 2 in the morning and we cannot get through this scene. And I want to say it was like one of the longer scenes. They went down the street to Phil's studio and rebuilt the entire set.
That's
In
crazy.
45 minutes, we drove down and shot and got it all. It's insane. It was insane.
I'm sure this movie had to put a lot of crap on you. It sounds like, I mean, just with the late night shoots and all that stuff, I would imagine.
Yeah, I didn't really know what I was going into, to be honest. I don't mind night shoots. Like I don't ever that kind of schedule doesn't bother me, but it was a lot. Like when I would be done with my 4 or whatever days in a row and I would come home and I would sleep for like 2. Like it just took the piss out of you.
That's sounds like what it would do. Yeah. And also, what are you drinking there, by the way?
Cheers.
Oh, yeah, cheers.
Water.
Water. All right. Well,
Water.
uh,
Water.
dirty
Water.
bean water.
Mm. Water. I have to be productive later.
For sure. For sure. So do I. I had to go out and get coffee, I guess.
Nice. I like that.
It's my day off, so I'm gonna enjoy it.
Yes.
I know. Do you have any like convention stuff coming up or anything like that?
Yeah, so I'm actually looking at the board right now.
I guess that's what I
Um,
want to point out too. So if like anyone that's watching my Instagram or YouTube and you want to get, a box of mashed potatoes signed or maybe a bottle. I mean, you could get a bottle of wine and make your, own barb wine.
I could. Listen, there you
Yeah.
go. Take it away. I'll take a cut.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, June in Indianapolis, and then we're in Kentucky in October. For me, I know the other guys are doing like weekly
bajillion.
conventions. Yeah. So those
So
are my kind of few.
if you want to get your stuff signed, it's going to be those 2 dates. What in Indiana and that?
June 23rd that weekend, and then October 20 something
Yeah. So
in
those
Kentucky.
are your 2 opportunities to get
Yeah.
your mashed potatoes signed by Sarah right there. All right. Well, I think I got all I wanted out of this. I mean, I made awkward ball comments and we talked
I
about
loved every minute of that. The more ball jokes, the merrier. Come on. It was all in good fun.
exactly this, and this could happen. I mean, they made the dumbest movies. They made a Smile movie. They've made the Hide and Go Seek movie. Maybe they could make Ball Pit the movie.
Maybe
you know
you could make Ball Pit the movie.
I actually
Why
could. You know
not?
what? I will go to a goddamn Chuck E. Cheese and probably scare half the goddamn kids in there. Like, why is that old man rolling around in balls? Call the police.
Will you please call me?
Maybe I might. Someday you're gonna get a weird message on Instagram and be like, look at me, I'm in balls.
And my weirdo ass will be like, I'll be there in 15. Send me the address.
With the
I'll come
tequila.
in I'll come in full costume with tequila. Why not?
Yep. Hey, actually that could be a Terrifier dream sequence. You're all tequilaed up and then like balls and tequila and then more tequila, and then the tequila gets on the balls. And actually, no, that would sterilize the balls. The tequila gets on there. What am I doing? I'm talking about sterilizing balls.
I'm just so happy it's not me this time.
Oh, see, but that's the thing. That's me. That's just what I do. That is part of my horrible charm, is that I just go off and just talk about awful things.
I love it. I love it. It's
All
so
right.
good.
Well,
I'll tell Damien, maybe we should have a ball sequence.
please do. Even just as something, you know what I mean? Like just have a ball pit. It could be in a garbage the alley where the garbage is at. I don't know. It could be a dumpster full of balls and
A dumpster in the alley.
yeah. I mean, that movie had so many worms and maggots. It's like, why can't it have some balls? Ball pit.
I know.
Yeah.
Lots of worms, lots of maggots.
Or a maggot ball worm pit. All right.
You just cut yourself off.
No, I didn't.
You're like, okay.
Well, I know I tried to restrain from, because that would be messy and it would smell really bad. But I just
Don't
remembered.
hold back.
Yeah. And then
What
maybe
if
there's a possum somewhere in the ball pit.
You know what really sucks is I had all of these behind the scenes pictures, and the possum made me think of that. And my phone died, and I don't have any of them
Oh.
because I was holding the possum. Yeah, welp.
Was that? I mean, it was probably fake, but it looked pretty goddamn real.
No, it was a taxidermy possum.
Wow.
Yeah, from what I remember, it was like a real dead possum, or maybe
Okay.
it wasn't. It was really gross. It had like
It
the
was.
fingers, and it was like.
It was, especially when they threw it down the hallway. It was like a fleshy possum, lumpy meat football. I didn't like it. It splatted. It was like a lump of meat just splatting on the ground. And just when I was a kid, I like to throw weird Jello shit, because you buy weird shit when you're a kid. You go to Toys R Us and like this thing flops around. Let's just throw it, and that's I'm a cheap bastard, so it says this thing's gonna end in 10 minutes unless I pay money. So
That's all right.
yeah.
You know what? I just had an idea for our marketing scheme. Terrifier Shrinky Dinks.
You should. It'd be a mystery bag. People like to buy mystery crap all the time. You can just buy a bag. It could be, a fucking chicken McNugget that's squishy. Definitely got to be a ball in there. Some maggots and worms. I mean, you buy those Spirit Halloween for like $0.25 or $1. Yeah, just a bag treat. I mean, they have like Terrifier 2 barf bags somewhere, I think. So just put a bunch of crap in the bag and then sell it for $20. There you go.
There we go.
And
We're
then
gonna be millionaires.
exactly. I mean, the movie definitely did make millions, so it did good. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Well,
thank you.
yeah, this was really fun. I'm glad that this finally happened. It took a
Me
while,
too.
and it was definitely worth it. It was an absolute pleasure talking to you about balls and to
Likewise.
Yep. All
And the
right.
next
Well,
time you see a ball pit, think of me.
I will. I will. I am going to go to a ball pit at some point, and I
All
will tag
right.
you in it. All right.
Sounds good.
Bye bye.
Bye.